New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So Boeing executives actually said that they are going to make some changes to the software that basically has something to do with the past Boeing Max 737 Maxes crashing. As we know, one had crashed with an Ethiopian airline that resulted in 150-something people dying, actually. And this past fall, actually, an Indonesian airline, Indonesian Lion Air, had crashed, killing 189 people. And both crashes were linked to a malfunction that had to do with the autopilot software. Basically, the executives came out saying that they are going to improve the software, which lets everybody know that, you know, that was the link, that had something to do with it. And them admitting that, on top of the fact that it's come out that they actually didn't do enough training for the pilots for this new software, and they were lobbying to pretty much get this Max, the 737 Max released to the public ASAP, or to the airlines or whatever. So some nefarious shit going on, possibly. Green War and graduate. New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So U.S. District Judge James Boasberg actually struck down a rule in Kentucky and Arkansas that basically said that Medicaid, and this was also highly encouraged by the Trump administration, but it basically said that Medicaid, people who receive Medicaid have to, and they're able-bodied adults, have to prove that they're working. Now, this kind of goes, he ruled it, said it's, the rule itself is arbitrary and capricious, basically saying that, this goes beyond the goal of Medicaid, which is, to give healthcare towards the needy. I mean, proving that you're working is some other shit. You know what I mean? That's some more welfare shit. Medicaid isn't necessarily considered welfare, even though there's no real definition, superficial definition of welfare. Medicaid is typically not seen as that, but now we have to deal with the Trump administration thinking that everybody is lazy. And the crazy thing about it be mostly white motherfuckers that need this shit anyway, man. Green War and graduation. Stay up. Go to Bishop Grady, let you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So the U.S. CBP, the Customs and Border Protection, actually is sending more agents down to El Paso, Texas. Now they're doing this because there's a surge of migrants coming up through that port entry, and they've actually found that a lot of the families that are coming in, they're actually being detained in Mexico, being held in these cages. So that's not why CBP is going down there, but that's why immigrants' rights activists are in an outrage. You're taking families, we're talking about hundreds of families that are actually being put in these outdoor prisons, cage, basically in a cage with barbed wire at the top, treated like prisoners, and there's complaints of there being inhumane treatment. Not to mention that the whole idea of just demonizing all migrants as rapists and violent people or whatever is itself inhumane. Are they not just trying to seek freedom just like everybody else, looking on the pursuit of happiness like everyone else? Something to think about, man. Green War and graduate. World Order, Bishop Grady, letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So Donald Trump actually came out his face in front of a bunch of Republican lawmakers saying that Puerto Rico actually received way too much aid from Hurricane Maria, and actually proportional, it was just way out of proportion what he gave them compared to what Texas and Florida received for Hurricanes Irma and Harvey. Pardon me. Now, at the end of the day, this is not true. It just simply is not true. First and foremost, Puerto Rico didn't get more money than those states. They actually got less money. Second off, there are 3,000 people that have died since Hurricane Maria as a result of Hurricane Maria. You're talking about by hospitals being shut down, power outages and shit like that. Because remember, the power outages went for a while long. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, there's still infrastructure that needs to be rebuilt. They deserve that money. And this is all coming in talks of $14 billion that lawmakers are trying to allocate towards Puerto Rico. Green War and graduate. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So the Trump administration has actually released or put out or actually approved of a rule that actually makes it easier for U.S. weapons manufacturers to sell these military style weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like AR-15s, grenades, flamethrowers, and all of that shit to foreigners by making, instead of having them obtain the license that they needed to from the State Department, they need to obtain a far easier to obtain license from the Commerce Department. So a lot of people are up in arms about that. I mean, at the end of the day, Rich motherfuckers gonna do what they gonna do anyway and find the loopholes through it. Shit, they might even instigate a war to justify it, like they doing with Saudi Arabia, did? You know what I mean? So that's just all whatever. But I still gotta let y'all know what the fuck happened. Green War graduation. The new world order, Bishop Brady letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So James Alex Fields, that name might sound familiar. This is the dude that actually took his car and plowed into a crowd of people at the Unite the Right rally back in 2017 in Charlottesville, Virginia. Courts actually they actually gave him life in prison this past December, but yesterday he actually pled guilty to 29 counts of hate crime. His plowing into that crowd actually injured 28 people, as you could imagine would happen if a car is going into a tight crowd of people or whatever, and actually killed one person, some white girl named Heather Heyer. So, you know, and she was an Antifa protester. Antifa means anti-fascist, which means you against the bullshit, but they try to like make it sound bad or whatever. You know, there was just a bunch of anti-racist protests. They weren't doing anything, but this dude is a self-described neo-Nazi, and little finger to him, man. Don't drop the soap. Green War and graduation. They are banning all references to white nationalism and white separatism on their site. You know, Facebook has over 1 billion accounts, and that's a pretty big deal for them to actually take that stand, because that's the largest platform that's ever took a stand against like that whole white supremacist fuck shit. And they did so officially. They actually said whenever they whenever a user is like about to post something like that or whatever, they'll be redirected to a page called Life After Hate, a group that actually aims to take people out of hate groups. So it's banning all sorts of, like, you know what I mean? So if you a white supremacist and you got your clique and all of that, I don't know, I ain't even gonna name y'all motherfuckers and get y'all no light. But if you are one of those people, you actually can't have a group on Facebook. Fuck you. Green War and graduation. We'll go to Bishop Brady letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So over in Rockland County in New York, they actually banned, the executive Ed Day actually announced that there is a ban on unvaccinated children under the age of 18 being in public places. So if you haven't gotten an MMR vaccine and you're in Rockland County or you're going to be anywhere around there, they're banning you because there's been an outbreak apparently of measles. Now, it's been pinpointed to this particular Orthodox Jewish community where they say this Jewish dude actually came back from Israel with the measles and infected a lot of people, because a lot of, you know, Jews, they or in that community, whatever, Orthodox Jews, they're not getting vaccinated because them, like a lot of tough militant black folks, and you know what I mean, even some militant white folks or whatever on the far right or whatever, a lot of people not with that vaccination shit, man. Now I know black people in general, it's hard to trust y'all motherfuckers, but anyway, they said this is lasting for 30 days or until motherfuckers get the vaccine. A public place is described as somewhere where 10 or more people are expected to gather. Green War and graduation. The new world order, Bishop Brady letting you know what the fuck going on. So this is kind of an update because I reported on this before, but Edwin Hardman is a dude out in Cali, and California actually, a federal judge actually ruled that Monsanto needs to pay this man $80 million because him, as a cancer survivor, ended up getting non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it was seen as being directly related to him using Monsanto's herbicide product called Roundup. Now, this has been linked to cancer and a lot of other things. There's a ton of cases coming against Monsanto. Now, I think Monsanto should get blown the fuck up. I think they should get buried under the ground at the end of the day. And you know, it's very possible because thousands of people are going to be suing this company. So, you know, hopefully they get trashed, because them trying to monopolize the the food and crop market and then force these pesticides and their products, their chemical products down our throat when they not even checking for this shit, man, they need to go to hell. Green War and graduation. We'll do the Bishop Grady letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, man. Everybody is up in arms because Education Secretary Betsy DeVos wants to actually zero out the funding that's typically allocated towards the Special Olympics. Now, according to what one of the lawmakers was saying as he was going back and forth with DeVos at a hearing that they had, 272,000 kids, special kids that are affected by the situation. And Also, it should be understood that last year, $17.6 million from the government actually went towards the Special Olympics. So, while I feel personally that Betsy DeVos is wrong on a ton of shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and honestly doesn't really have the best interest of at least my people in heart when it comes to this education shit. But that's a lot of fucking money going towards, you know what I mean, some, you know, Olympic Games. I mean, I think it is seen as a morale booster, but you know, people in Flint still don't have water. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Green Wall and graduation.